mentions that Adam alayhi salam learned the words of repentance from his Lord, and he repented to Allah, and Allah accepted the repentance of Adam alayhi salam. Innahu huwa at-tawwab ar-rahim. Surely Allah is all merciful and all accepting of repentance. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes further, قُلْ نَهْبِطُوا مِنْهَا جَمِيعًا فَإِمَّا يَأْتِيَنَّكُم مِّنِّي هُدًى فَمَنْ تَبِعَ هُدَايَ فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَكَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا أُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ وَآخِرُ دَعْوَانَا الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Any questions?
So in about Salat, you talk about the distractions. I want to know more about the level of movement in Salat. Sometimes when we are praying, sometimes we may move our hands, touch something. What is the extent of allowance or not allowance of movement?
Doing something that may be considered excessive movement, or that may be considered outside of Salah. An activity that we do outside of Salah, like eating. Eating is something that we do outside of Salah. Or talking is something that we do outside of Salah. So these are things that will break your Salah immediately. As far as, movement is concerned, if it is a little bit movement here and there, like, scratching your head a little, or making a move here and there a little bit, that will not break your Salah. However, if it becomes excessive, like a person, he keeps on moving here and there, or he keeps on, going from one foot to the other foot, or keeps on, scratching his head, or scratching his back, or any of these things, and continuously doing that, then that will also break the Salah, and that is called Amal al-Kathir. It's one of the mufsidat of Salah, one of the things that may render your Salah void.
I prayed in the Masjid Qiblathan, when it was the original one. I think that was in 1978 or 79. I went for the first Hajj. And after that, they covered it up.
Yeah, there used to be a mark for the previous Qibla as well, but now they even took off that.
Yeah, but I prayed in the original one, where there were two Qiblas. I think they were at 90 degrees to each other. One was facing this way, one was...
No, they are in opposite direction. Even today, they still have like a sign. When you enter the masjid, so you look back, and they still have a sign right near the ceiling. So the ceiling is very high. So that's where they have a sign that this is where it used to be the Qibla previously. And then you face the other way, and that's where the current Qibla is.
That was the original masjid. It was a very small room.
That's probably either before the expansion of King Fahd, or maybe around that time. King Fahd is the one who basically reconstructed the masjid, expanded it, and now it accommodates almost 5,000 people or more. But at that time, originally, it was only for 100 people or so. Yeah. Yeah, it was very small. Yeah. And now, Masjid Quba, it accommodates about 10,000 people. So they expanded it maybe 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. So it accommodates about 10,000 people. And they expanded Masjid Qiblatain as well. All the important masajid in the history of Islam, not all of them, but most important ones of them, they did renovation, they expanded them, and they made them bigger. But obviously, Masjid al-Haram and Masjid al-Nabawi, they were given the most expansion. That's the current expansion as we see now. It happened almost 20 years ago when Masjid al-Haram began to accommodate millions of people, and likewise Masjid al-Nabawi began to accommodate about 1.5 million people as well.
One of the tafsir also, like when Allah asked the angel to prostrate to Adam, they said like one is like to show obedience to Allah, to just whatever Allah says you have to do. And the other one was to show respect to Adam because he had the highest status. And they actually kind of put that prostration with the Yusuf prostration when he asked because they use the same word. Like he saw 11 stars and the moon and prostrate to him. It wasn't just like they prostrate to him because they were worshiping him, but they showed him respect because of the high status that he has at that time.
Yeah.
Is it like something correct? Because I heard that tafsir too.
It was not. It was what the scholars call it. They call it the prostration of basically submission. Like, because Yusuf alayhi salam, even in a worldly term, he was a ruler to them. And this is another thing that we should keep in mind, that in previous nations, in previous ummahs, this kind of prostration to show submission, to show basically the surrender was allowed. The prostration of worship was never allowed in any ummah, in any nation. But the prostration to show someone that yes, we follow you and we surrender to your rule, that was something that was allowed in previous ummahs. But in this ummah, in the ummah of Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbade that as well, because it could lead people to the prostration of others. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك اللهم صل وسلم على عبدك ورسولك اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد افضل صلواتك اللهم انا نسالك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى اللهم انا نسالك العفو والعافيه والمعافاه الدائمه في الدين والدنيا والاخره اللهم حبب الينا الايمان وزينه في قلوبنا وكره الينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان واجعلنا من الراشدين ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنه وفي الاخره حسنه وقنا عذاب النار ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم وتب علينا انك انت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى اله واصحابه اجمعين برحمتك يا ارحم الراحمين. Since the story of Adam alayhi salam is mentioned in nearly 7 places throughout the Qur'an, so for huffaz, for people like us, it becomes confusing as well. Sometimes we get confused. What is the word used here? And we sometimes mix match as well.